All right, I'm live. I'm live and direct. Uh Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Happy birthday, belated birthday to me. It's your boy. It's your boy, Mr. Screwtown himself. On tonight's show, we have award-winning Americana singer Natalie Jean. I'm excited about this interview. I've been waiting for this. She is a beautiful singer. She has a lot going on. Um, and without further ado, let me get into what Natalie Jean has been up to. Let's start off with her bio. So she is a Haitian singer and songwriter that specializes in Americana music. She can sing in English, French, Spanish, and Creole. She has been nominated for and won many awards for her music, including 12 nominations at the 2020 Josie Music Awards, in which she won World Artist of the Year and Versatile Artist of the Year. Wow. She has also won two gold medals at the Global Music Awards. Natalie is now a voting member in the Recording Academy organization that hosts the Grammys each year. So give it up for Americana singer Natalie Jean. What's
Thank
going
you.
on?
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I when I first noticed you, I was on LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn. A lot of people don't know, but that's like the best kept secret in the industry. Um, but LinkedIn, I seen everything that you were doing, and I was just like, wow, seeing that you've been doing a lot. Just tell us about yourself. Tell us how you got started.
Well, I was living in New York after college, not right after college, a couple years after college, and
Hmm.
I was going through a lot of things in my life. And I started out by writing spiritual poetry, but before that, my father is like a famous Haitian artist. His
Okay.
name is Guy Jean. And so music has been in my blood, but I never thought I'd be in music at all. I love to dance. I can dance.
Hmm.
I didn't even think I'd be tapping a toe or doing anything like that. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be
Oh.
everything else. Yeah, I can argue um, with the best of them. But when I moved to New York, I was going through a lot of things through my life. So writing spiritual poetry actually helped me a lot. I actually released a spiritual poetry book that's on Amazon years.
Okay.
But and my parents were like, "Oh, why don't you turn some of these into songs?" And I was like, "Really? I don't know." So I think I took two of them, and
Hmm.
and my father gave me two of his songs to do, and his songs were in French, so we translated them into English, and
Okay.
I created a demo.
Nice.
Still didn't do anything with it because I was still going through things in my life, and I was just like, "Ah,
Mhm.
that's not the time." Then years later, I decided to send it out to the internet world, and
Mm.
yeah, you know that thing.
Yeah.
Tape Music Group found me. Now the defunct, bankrupt Tape Music Group found me. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna sign you." You know, at that point, I was not a novice in this thing. I didn't know anything. I was like, "Oh my
Hmm.
god, great!" You know, somebody wants to sign you. You get all crazy and happy.
Right.
Yeah. And so I flew to Oklahoma. We created the first album called Obsession. Um, and some of the songs on there were created by my cousin Moses Jean as well. It's a family thing. And
Okay.
I released the album in 2013, I think. And so basically, the label wasn't doing anything. You know how that goes. And
Yep.
so I was doing everything myself. So I left them and then I started doing everything myself. You know, I got on the internet looking for places to submit music anywhere that I
Hmm.
could. And basically, the rest is history. I had to become really obsessed with doing this stuff to be able
Hmm.
to all these other avenues to place my music. But that's how it all started.
Wow. So, it's funny that you said, how you had to do it yourself. And,
Mhm.
I tell a lot of artists that don't depend on the label. Sometimes you don't even need a label. Nowadays, I honestly think that the only reason you would need a label is if they really come behind you financially. But, for some people that don't know, like, what made you like finally be like, all right, I got to start doing this myself?
Um, I'm the type of person, if I'm doing something, I become obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized when I started to sing, in fact, I didn't even know that I could sing, but when I started to sing and I really
Wow.
enjoyed it, and there was
Mm-hmm.
happiness in my life with it, I was just like, well, this is something I definitely want to do. And so that is what pushed me to go and look for anything and everything on the internet. And it wasn't really until I became a member, not a voting member, and a
Mm-hmm.
member of the Recording Academy is where I started to meet new and interesting people that were involved in the Grammys and the music community. And through that,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to learn from other people, and I was able to collaborate with other artists. And then so I learned a lot more, but still, I still did a lot of digging and searching on my own.
Yeah.
To find different platforms, especially for independent artists, uh,
Mm-hmm.
place their music to be seen, heard, whatever. And then I started entering contests and songwriting awards. And a lot of people frown upon some of those things, but the way that I look at it is it's a marketing platform because you don't know who's actually listening to your music. I've
Right.
had people listen to my music on some of the contests and want to collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you win or you're nominated or finalist, you can put that on your resume. And so
Mm-hmm.
I do those things. And so doing that, I was able to learn a lot. And now, anybody's entering contest, they come to me and say, "Oh, what do you think about this one?" And blah, blah. And I can give them the answer because I've almost entered everything that's out there.
Right. Right. Right.
Well, it was more like an obsession. Trying. I mean, I was on it hourly. I was like, okay, where am I going to put this? How am I going to do this? Then I had to figure out, what kind of music I was going to do. I started out by doing jazz. My first album
Mm-hmm.
was pop jazz. Jazz and blues are my favorite genres. And so I was considered a multi-genre artist because I do dance, pop, R&B. I've even done rap. I've done country. I've done Americana. Done instrumental.
Wow.
I've done new age. You name it, I've done it. I just like music, but I found that Americana is the one genre where you can have storytelling.
Right. Right.
Tell a story in all the songs, but I really think it's grittier in Americana. And plus, there are a lot of genres in Americana because everybody would ask me, "So, what's your genre?" And I was
Like me, that's what I did.
right.
Yeah.
I'm an artist. I create. No, no, no. But what's your genre? Then I would
Mm-hmm.
spew off. No, what is your genre? And I'm just like, I don't think you have to stick to one. Obviously,
Right.
if you have one that you're really good at and you want to stick to that. That's great. But as an artist, in these times, the way that you can make money is by touring and selling merch, sync and
Mm-hmm.
licensing. So because I'm so versatile, I have a bigger repertoire that I can send out for sync and licensing.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's how, 6 albums and several singles later, here I am.
Wow. It's funny that you said about licensing and so forth. I was talking to a label head earlier about getting his artists, under situated, and he has a roster full of artists. And the first thing I said is he has a Latin artist. And I told him how, okay, so you said that you have versions in English and French and Creole. Well, his artist only has it right now in English or no, Spanish. And I told him, I said it would be good if your artist, whatever he does, is to make sure he has both versions because
Right.
you can get as far as licensing that music and syncing it to, different like commercials and so forth. It just makes it a lot easier. So what do you, I mean, like as far as your journey has went, how important is it to have different versions of your music?
Well, the funny thing is that I only have one. Like, I have a French album. Okay, that's
Okay.
all. That's all in French. I only have that version. So every album is different. It's all this different songs. So I actually
Yeah.
don't have versions of any of my songs in like let's say I had a song in English. I don't
Hmm.
have Spanish, French, or Haitian Creole. I just have French songs. I have Haitian Creole songs. I have one Spanish song, and the rest are English songs. I think that
Oh.
if you can take your music, any of your songs, and translate them into
Hmm.
another language, it's even greater for you. When
Yeah.
people listen to my music, especially my French songs, I've been told over and over and over, oh, you need to go to Canada. You need to go to Canada. Oh my God, they're going to love your voice and stuff like that.
Hmm.
There's a niche for uh, your music in the different cultures. I mean, I could go to Europe and obviously sing in France or Germany or wherever, and they'll be in tuned with the music.
Right.
I think that if you can, like I said, translate your songs into other languages, that's really, because you open your versatility. You become way more versatile by doing that.
Right, right. So tell us about how you became a voting member of the Recording Academy. How did that start?
That was a fight. So when I was living in New York, I'd forgotten about this. When I was living in New York, I actually was a member back really long. I mean, I'm like 100 years old, so long time ago I was a member, and then I dropped out of it. And then in 4 more years, it'll be 10 years that I've been a member. I started out as an associate, and back when I signed up to become a member, it was really easy. You just send in your information. Started out in the music industry, and they may have accepted you. So I was very lucky at that time. And then when I think when I did my first album or my second album, I said, "Oh, I want to become a voting member." That was a little bit more difficult. They were like, "Well, you have a job," and then they started saying, "Well, you're not an artist." And then I went off, and then yeah, I went off.
Why did they say you wasn't an artist?
The Recording Academy, they truly want artists. The problem is that a lot of people that try to get a membership in the Recording Academy, some of them are hobbyists. So those are people that are just doing it for fun, So what the Academy, and I can't blame them, is that they're for people that are actually doing this for a living. This is their bread and butter. Now, in these times, it is difficult to be able to just do music unless you're a mainstream artist making millions of dollars. How are you going to sustain yourself? How are you going to live and stuff like that? So they're kind of allowing people to have jobs to be able to sustain that. So it was really, really, really crazy when I wanted to become a voting member and they started saying that. I actually talked to membership, but I'm like, look, music is my saving grace. This is my life. I said, I have to have this job so that I can do the music. I can't just say, okay, I'm not going to have a job, and then where am I going to live? I'm not right. Do the music. So they understood, and then I was accepted as a voting member. Now, if you want to become a voting member now, it is hell. So now, they used to have 3 memberships, and I think they brought it down to 2 plus a student membership. So you have the voting and you have the professional membership. So now, if you want to become a member, you have to have 2 recommendations from members to be considered a voting member or even a professional member.
Okay.
Criteria. Your music has to be in all music. You have to be on LinkedIn. You can't really have another job. You kind of can't. You gotta have to explain that thing. You really have to be all over the internet. Meaning, if they Google your name, you've got to pop up just like that. You've got to have some kind of interviews. You don't have to have like Billboard charting or sales and stuff like that, but they really need to see you actively doing music. So, recently, I've had some friends that were voting members for about 25 years, and they were booted out because they hadn't done music in like 3 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even if they had done 3 singles, 6 singles, or something like that, it would have been a consistent thing. So what the Recording Academy is looking for is consistency. They want to be able to say, okay, these are your peers. These are the people that are actually taking the time to listen to your music when it's voting time. So it's been sad to see a lot of people go because people have vested their time. Recording Academy. I'm there until 2024 until I try to get renewed again. So yeah, I had to send all my information in. It was an arduous process, but I mean, they can see that I'm all over the internet, so that's how I got. And and the thing with what people don't understand about the Recording Academy is that it's not a bunch of men in back doors that are doing the voting. We take a lot of independent artists are voting members. We take the time. I have like spreadsheets upon spreadsheets upon spreadsheets when it's time to vote for the artists. And there's so
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And for example, in pop, there are over 1,000 submissions. There's
Mm,
no way that one person can listen to that. So you
right.
have to pick out some of the stuff that you know, or you do any money, mo, and say, okay, I'm going to listen to something new. I already know who the pop artists are, but I like to listen to something that is different. I like to listen to the indie artists. It's important for me to listen to the indie artists because I'm an indie artist, and
Hmm.
it's fun for us to be seen because we're always up against mainstream artists. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, and things have changed this year. There used to be like committees. They removed the committees because there was a lot of questionable situations in that. So now the committees are gone. So
Yeah, I can imagine that.
we'll see what happens next year. I've been to the Grammys, I think 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's an experience in itself, huh?
Well, you see, when the first time you go, you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to the Grammys. I've dreamt about this all my life. And you get to walk the red carpet. It's not what you think. There's a daytime show that shows
Hmm.
I think 12:30 to about 4:30, and those are all the awards you don't see. And during the
Mm.
they say we're earlier today, blah blah, blah such and such one. Uh,
Right, right.
and then at 5, because it's in California, so about 5:30, we see what you guys see at night. Um,
Hmm.
and you get to see. I mean, it's not cheap. A lot of people like to post, oh, I just got invited to the Grammys. We have to pay for our tickets.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not like, yeah, we get invited to purchase the tickets.
Right, 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 right.
And I understand why people do that because they want to feel special, but I don't have time for that. So you have to, because we spend a lot of the whole time you're out there, you're spending a lot of money. You have to
Hmm.
ticket, you have to pay for the party ticket because the party ticket does not come along with the ticket. See, so the let's see, bronze is 250. The party is
Hmm.
silver is 375. Platinum is 1,000, or is it platinum or gold is 1,000, or the other thing is $1,200. So
Mm.
you spend money for that. Then you spend money for airfare. Then you still
Yeah.
spend money for the hotel. Then you spend money on the outfit that you're going. Then you're networking. You have to go here, there, Lyft, Uber, blah blah blah. By the time you're done, you're broke.
I'm telling you, I keep trying to tell artists it's not cheap to be in this. It's not. I don't know where they seeing this at. I don't know if it's these reality TV shows that are signing artists that making them think that maybe this is free, but there's nothing free about being in the music industry.
There is nothing free about being in the music industry. Even if you find platforms where they say, okay, upload your music for free, there's always a catch. There's always something where they say, but if you want to upgrade, you can pay this money, you can do this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
So a lot of artists, I mean, I haven't even broken even in the 6 albums and several singles that I've done, with music on Spotify that's half a penny or whatever it is. It's not
Yeah.
make your money. You just don't. And
Hmm.
CDs, I'm like, I don't do CDs anymore because I still have a lot of them here, and I
Yeah.
send them out a lot. I don't even do that. You can stream my music, listen, you
Yeah.
can stream my music and stuff like that. And CDs are expensive. I think
Hmm.
unless you're planning to send out your CDs to a bunch of places to review, or radio stations that are still asking for CDs, which is ridiculous. Let me say
Hmm.
ridiculous. People ask me, I said, I don't do CDs anymore. I can burn you a copy. And then
Mm.
they'll say, no, that's okay. I'll go stream it. So why are you asking me for a CD?
Right, right. Yes,
Uh,
it's starting to become obsolete. It's most definitely, yeah. And I had to learn the hard way because I was like you and everybody else, go out and buy, 100 just to,
right.
promote. People won't even take them from you.
No,
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
they won't do that anymore. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot of spending money. Whether you're doing, you want to do a music video. Now I found an easier way to do music videos if I want something very simple, which is like you go on Fiverr, you have somebody create something for your song, beautiful. Now if you want to go more extravagant, that's something totally different.
Yeah.
Uh, you want there's my cat. You want to promote and market your music. That's another. I use Play MPE. Play MPE starts at $250 just to get it out to radio stations. So, it's very, very, very expensive. You are going to spend money. No matter what you do, you're spending money.
Yeah. And that's it. I'm glad you said that, with somebody with your experience to come on here and tell the listeners exactly what I tell them day in and day out. I know artists that are up and coming, like just starting, that don't want to spend $200. They think I'm crazy when I say the starting package will start off at like $250. That's the starting. That's just to get your name across a couple things, like they don't understand. They understand. And
it's not only that. So I've done a bunch of things where I found this thing in Nashville where you can get you can take your CD cover or whatever and your digital cover and put it on a digital billboard. I've done that several times.
Yeah.
Loan is $250 for 30 minutes, and I think they show it every 4 to 8 minutes. Okay. Yeah, it's nice to see it, blah, blah, but you're still spending money. Now, if you're recording a song with a friend, obviously you might get a cheaper version. If that friend is good, great. But recording a song, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what people need to remember is that it's an investment into yourself. And you really thinking about how you're going to brand yourself, who you are as an artist. I just finished, I'm kind of still in it, but this entrepreneurship thing I applied for in Nashville, and I learned a lot from that. And they said you need to really look at yourself as an investment and see how you want to invest in yourself and budget everything out, and then really think about your purpose. What is it that you want people to see you? How you want people to see you? What is your message? And one of the things that's been revealed a lot, because I have my own podcast through some of the people that I interview, is that people want to be an effective player. That's what I want to be. I want my music to make a difference. Obviously, it's great to want to chart, get on Billboard, win awards and stuff like that. It's an awesome feeling, get nominated, blah, blah, blah. But I want my music to do more. I want to be remembered. Oh, she did that. Oh, she helped me with that. Oh, I felt good when I listened to her song. So, yeah.
And see, so some of the things that I ask artists or my clientele when I, first sit down and consult with them is what their goals are. A lot of people want to be musicians. They want to start labels and all kind of other stuff, but they really don't have goals, So I'm like, we got to start off with what type of goals you have.
Right.
Then we can kind of go from there. So one of the things I tell people is that as soon as you leave the studio, you become your own business, regardless if you start one or not.
That's right.
So how important is it, for preparation, investing, and having goals in this industry?
I mean, it's very important because you could sit there and say, okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. And then you're stuck because you have so many things on your plate. And then you don't even know who you are as an artist. You can have a bunch of goals, but if you don't know who you are as an artist, there's no point in having a goals because you'll just be in so many different spots. You won't know how to start. So if you want to be this great rap artist, but what kind of rap are you going to sing? How do you want to represent yourself? The critical thing that people need to remember is that people are craving the real. They are craving authenticity. And I keep talking about authenticity. Want people that are kind of fearless. They want people that are just, that they can relate to.
Yeah.
I often give people this story, like when people got mad when Adele beat out Beyonce, I think it was for her Lemonade album and stuff like that. And explain why. For me, now Beyonce fans will kill me, but I don't think that Beyonce is relatable. She's not.
Right.
She sings at you. She doesn't sing to you.
Yeah.
Adele's been through the breakup. She's so natural that you feel like you call her up and said, listen, I've been through this. Can we talk? Blah, blah, blah. You can relate to what she's been through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beyonce's a great performer. When she puts on a show, she's phenomenal. But when she sings, I feel nothing. When Adele sings, I feel everything.
Yeah.
So where I come back to. You need to, as artists, you need to see how you want to be. You want people to relate to you, or do you just want to sing at people?
Yeah.
If you listen to radio right now and the music is on, I mean, the music is great, but they all sound alike. It's
Yeah.
always,
It's trendy. I call it trendy.
it's very trendy. It's very trendy. And I always tell people, look, if you're trying to sound like an artist, other artists, that's up to you. That'll be your niche. But when I go to music conferences and webinars, they're always saying, we want somebody different. Like if you're a lyricist and you're writing for somebody, we want you to give something to Rihanna. Don't give her something she's already done. Give her something she hasn't done.
Yep.
People want something new and inventive. Like if it were up to media, we would only know these artists: Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Kanye West. I don't know if he's still out there. You know, I'm not a big fan. You would the Jonas Brothers. You would know BTS. BTS sounds like all the other boy bands. I like their songs, but it sounds the same to me.
Yeah.
So it is a redundant thing. Sometimes I feel like telling the radio stations, why don't you have a little challenge? Why don't you pick out?
Oh my gosh, it's politics in radio, though, you know. So we both know that.
I know, but it wouldn't take them to take 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And take artists that don't have a label or anything, that've been pushing themselves by themselves. Play them, because after a while, people are going to get tired, and they're actually going to start listening to indie radio more than they listen to, you know, the FM AM stations that are out there. I'll give an example. So when Lizzo came out, you know, I think her 2 or 3 famous songs, I got in the car at night, morning, noon. It was the same song over and over. Now I can't listen to those songs anymore. And in fact, I can't listen to Lizzo. Every time she comes on the radio, I turn her off. In fact, I don't even listen to the top 40 radio station. For some reason, one day the radio station wasn't working in my car, and I turned to K-Love. Now I just listen to K-Love music, and I love that station. It's all spiritual music, but it's like 40. It's really, really good. But I understand in the beginning, when a song comes out, obviously you're going to play it over and over. But after a while, it's too much.
Well, that's why a lot of people listen to Spotify and SoundCloud, and you know, because you got a little bit of versatility. You know what I'm saying? Like people, you got indie and you got major all mixed in. Right. So you might become a fan of some indie artists because you've been listening to that. You know, that's why people are doing that. And, you know, I'm kind of, you know, both sides on the radio, because I'm with you with the top 40, listen to every song all the time. But then it's like, how do we get there? You know, so a lot of my clients is like, all right, I get what you're saying, but, you know, and I just tell them it's kind of like a combination. You got to be seen and heard. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you got to be on playlists through Spotify and SoundCloud. You got to try to do some indie radio because FM is too high. And then you got to have a video. Yeah. You know, so it's rough.
Yeah, the whole playlist thing, that's another thing, trying to get on playlists. And there, you know, Indie Bible has a whole huge PDF of this you can get on Spotify playlist, but it's about taking the time to do all of that, email all these people and say, here's my song, please consider it for your Spotify playlist. And the music thing also, it takes up a lot of your time. It's a 24/7 job.
Yeah, it is.
You have to keep pushing because you are competing against other independent artists. I don't feel like I'm in competition. And what I mean by that is, like, I focus on myself. I don't care about, you know, somebody's doing the same thing. I say I'm always applauding other people in the music industry because I like to see people succeed.
Yeah.
But people need to remember this is hard work. And that it costs a lot of money. Plus, we have to be on all these social media platforms. That's the other thing that gets on my nerve.
I was just about to ask you about how important it is. I've even gotten to the point, and you might have seen it on LinkedIn, where I had to put in the application process for a social media manager because it's getting too busy, and you have to focus at least 50% of your time on social media, or you're going nowhere. Like
going nowhere. You're going in a sinkhole. social media is crazy sick to me. It's annoying. I understand why we have to do it, but it's so time consuming. So during this pandemic, which is the one blessing of the pandemic, because obviously it's been horrifying, but there have been pros and cons, is that was able, because I work from home, was able to go to webinars and music conferences on social media platforms. I did one on TikTok, and they were like, you need to do 5 videos a day. And I'm thinking to myself, who has that? Yes, they said 5 videos. So you can start getting noticed. And I'm like, and they were telling you how to do, I didn't even know about it. Twitch, obviously I knew about Duet, or not Twitch, it's Stitch. Duet.
Stitch. Okay.
Yeah, all Stitch's own. And they showed you how to do all these videos where it could be two of you in it and jump on the bed, anyway. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but there's 5, I'm not doing 5 videos. I don't have the time for that. I mean, I've done videos with my cats to be silly. I've done videos with me pushing my music. That's the one thing I refuse to push anybody else's music, because I see a lot of people do that. And as artists, I think we need. I've done one song by my friend who's also my partner in Sisters in Music, and I did one of her songs. But that's about it. I push my own music. It takes a lot of time to devote to do all those things. My favorite platform is Instagram, because it's all about posting pics, and then you can put inspirational quotes or whatever. Facebook, all that stuff. Twitter. My sister's on Snapchat. I don't do that one.
See, I can't get with that. I
mean, I'm on Clubhouse. Clubhouse in the beginning was very interesting to me. I would listen to, and I've met some incredible people. One person, I think it was Empress Rose, because at one point she was giving all this information about sync and licensing, and where you can put your music and social media and this, that, and music supervisors, blah, blah, blah. And I'm friends with her, and I learned a lot through that. And I even have a room in there, which I still haven't done something in that, which I need to do. But it's time consuming, and there are days where you're just like, what am I supposed to say today?
Right. You got to find that content, you know what I'm saying? Like daily content or whatever. And that's hard to do. You have to be creative.
You have to be extremely creative. My friend and I, Nikki, we interviewed this company called Digital Divas. They're in Nashville. And they do a lot of promo marketing stuff. And they said that the one thing, they're not so keen on the TikTok thing. They said TikTok got huge because of the pandemic. People didn't have anything to do. So they got on TikTok and started doing crazy stuff and became very popular. But they said that when you're posting, you should post something different on each platform, which I think is extremely hard to do. But I get it.
Yeah, I get it too.
That each place has something different. It's just, and that, which I do recognize, that you become really popular when you're real and you're authentic on all of these platforms. They don't, most people don't gravitate to the people that are extremely fake or just on there just to get fans or people to get views and stuff like that. So that's the one good thing I find with everything, the authenticity of things, that if you are authentic. But I can tell you that, but when I'm ready to post on Instagram, I get sucked into Instagram. I like watching and this is the only time I watch is on Instagram, where they have these little minute clips wilding out.
Okay, wilding out. Yeah.
On Instagram, they have these 30-second or minute clips, and they're so funny. And I'm like, I have 100 things to do, but I'm there scrolling. And I'm like, wow, so funny. It's like an hour later.
See, that's me for TikTok. Like I get sucked in, with the stupid, silly stuff. But oh my God, I get sucked in with TikTok. But I can't come up with my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I wish I could come up with something like that. Just simple stuff.
Well, one lady told me, because TikTok and Reels are kind of the same kind of deal. Is that when I do my podcast, I should do something where I'm introducing the people that I'm going to interview, and do that before the interview, like a couple days before, and so that I can reach more people with the podcast. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I mean, I have some ideas. I just have to
gotta implement them.
Yeah,
So
got it.
so tell us about the podcast. Tell us about it.
So my friend Nikki and I started. It was her idea. Started Sisters in Music, and the platform is to empower women in music, entertainment, and performing arts, and
Mm.
that's the men and the brothers that support them. So she has one called Mixing It with Nikki Chris, and I have one called Chatting with Nat. On mine, it's about I love people that speak their truth, that are not afraid to be authentic and real. They can curse, do whatever on my podcast because I want the real. You know,
Yeah.
if I hear mine are all live, I don't edit them. I'm trying to get back to the place where we don't edit anything. I just want to
Right.
whatever happens in the podcast, that's what you're going to get
Yeah.
because I think in our society we're looking too much for perfection, and there's
Yeah.
not perfect. No song is perfect. We can like a song and think a song is great, but there's no perfect song. There's no
Mm.
perfect. I'm trying to get that word perfect out of this world, and so it's like two people chatting on a couch and just shooting the breeze. And I asked them how they've been doing and during the pandemic. And one of the greatest questions I asked them is that a lot of people have taken the time to self reflect during
Hmm.
the pandemic. Has that person taken that time, and what have they decided is going to be their life journey? How is it going to be? Is it, how are you going to be as an artist? Are you going to stay the same? Did something
Hmm.
change for you and stuff like that? So yeah, and then I play a couple of their songs if they send me their.
Mm. And when is this podcast? Like, is it weekly or is it daily?
And that I'm all over the place. So I don't even have a day. If they ask me, I schedule them.
Uh-huh.
That's the day that they get. So I haven't instituted the day yet, like a Tuesday. Oh, Natalie's on Tuesday, blah blah. No, I haven't done that yet.
You
I
just
just
click. You be like, you know what, we going on.
yeah. I schedule them. I do a little flyer, and then
Hmm.
okay, we're gonna be on tonight. Great.
So speaking of the flyer, when I first had it made, shout out to Lou, who was
Mhm.
my one of my graphic designers. She fell in love with I Am. She
Mm.
said she was crying. It brought her back. Oh man, I mean, she hit me up after she did, and she was like, "Man, this hit me good." So tell us about your single "I Am."
So I am came off of my. I was with this company called B Squared Management, and they suggested I re-release it as a single, but it's off of my album "Where Do We Go From Here," and that
Okay.
album I released last year on February 14th, and it's a social impact message album.
Mm.
And it talks about, I had to think about several different themes that I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One called I Told You No, and that's about my own sexual assault. It talks about racism. It talks about police brutality. It talks about climate change, homelessness,
Mm.
letting, letting go, female empowerment, and just being tired. And it talks about immigration as well.
Yeah.
So when I came to decide thought about writing a song about racism, I wanted to do it a different way. I didn't want to do
Mm-hmm.
it the way everybody, a lot of people have written about racism, and wanted to make it personal.
Yeah.
And so, staying with the Americana genre, I said I wrote the song like a poem. And so I write lyrics. I don't do the music. I don't play an instrument or anything like that. But I do record. Like I can think of a melody for a song.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with my producer for several years, Lexi von Guggenberg. So I said, okay, I went to him and I said, well, I want these instruments in it. It has to flow like this, blah, blah, blah. He put it together. But before he did that, you know, I needed one more word for the song. Oh my God, it was driving me crazy. And so I went to the gym when you could go to the gym. And I sat down and I was watching a show. And the word hollow came. And I was like, oh my God, that's the word. That's the word I needed for my song. So I went to the studio and then he put everything together and he said, okay, let's try it out. And I sang it. This is
Mm-hmm.
the first time that I sang a song in one take. So what you hear,
Wow.
because it was so raw and it was, very emotional. It's what I was feeling at that moment, especially with everything that's happened in the past 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been horrifying. America is just the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
horrifying. And so I was able to take that energy of the horrifying world and put it in that song. It's like, really look, take a look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm not going to give into your fears. I won't give you all of my tears. I'm going to stand strong against your hate. Yet
Mhm.
you even need to know me, and yet you hate me. And I think
Right.
that's the dumbest thing a person can talk about or say, or call you
Yeah.
names. I don't even know you. You know. The other thing is, in that album, I did a song with my friend Derek Spears. He's a rapper, and we did "We Kneel."
Mm.
And I had to think about the whole story. So I tried to relay the story about how the whole kneeling started. But when I'm like, but you're not going to use the N word in my song because I'm so against using that word.
Right. Right.
I hate it when I hear it. it it's just it's so sad to me that Black people are the only culture that will take a negative word and use it and say that they've taken it and changed it. Like,
Nah. Yeah.
you never, and I keep telling people, you can never change that word. You can never change the history. You can't say,
Mhm.
I'm going to call everybody that. And it's just, it means I love you. No, it means what it
Nah.
means. You
Plus,
know,
most times it's not needed.
it's not,
It's not
it's not,
needed. Yeah.
it's not. I just recently got a Peloton. Oh my God, they play all the songs with the word, and it gratiates, and so it actually makes me work out harder because I get so angry when I hear the word. Uh,
Mhm.
what people don't understand is that Black people have been conditioned. If you know psychology, you've been
Yeah.
conditioned to believe that's who they are and what they are.
Right.
So, 21st century, you would think that this word would not even be here. Now,
Yeah. Exactly.
people get upset at white people if they use it. Some Black people get upset at Black people for using it, but who's to blame?
Yeah.
And I told somebody the other day, I said Black people are more to blame than white people because Black people shouldn't be using it
Nope.
more than most of the white people do. Even
If we didn't use it, nobody else would now.
So
Yeah.
putting that energy out there, that's who you are, people are going to consistently look at you and think that's what you are. And
Mhm.
the other thing is that you don't want other people to say it, yet you're putting it in a song. You get mad at people for singing it, but you put it in the song. So what I tell those people, the people that sing and use it, you need to give those people money back, a percentage of the money back,
Yeah.
like 20 cents back if you don't want them to use it. But I tell people, if you buy a song that has the word in it, sing it because they're
Mhm.
telling you to sing it.
Yeah, they asking you to say, yeah.
And it's just tragic that, like I said, that we're in the 21st century, and the Black culture is the only culture that will just pick a negative word and just say, "Oh, I'm going to use it for myself." You don't see other cultures doing that
No.
at all.
Mm.
So I often want to do like a challenge. I challenge people not to use it at all, not even to say that that's my brother. This one of the reasons I don't like the actress Issa Rae, and people love her.
Mm.
And the reason I don't like her because she was on a red carpet one day and she had a belt made or bought a belt that had the N word with the A at the end.
Wow.
Wore it on the red carpet. And that's just so disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the ancestors. It's disrespectful to the slaves. It's just disrespectful, period. And I have no respect for her or anybody that uses it.
I respect that, man. I mean, it's all about empowerment with me, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you didn't went through the struggle, it's like we go through the struggle for what? Just to continue to be in the struggle? Like, no, that ain't what it's all about. So yeah, I appreciate the respect, on that end. And I'm most definitely with you when it comes down to that. Like, I mean, I'll be one to say that, when I was a rapper 15, 20 years ago, I used it, but didn't know why I was using it. But,
Right.
It's kind of operational, learning or
Right.
instructional learning, stuff that I learned when I was still kind of ignorant to the fact. 15 years later, of course, I don't need to use that. You don't need to use no. I mean, honestly, you don't really even have to use cuss words at all in music
Exactly.
to get your point across. But some people feel the need to use it. I just don't feel the need to use that word or any others nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to express things through positivity, you gotta start somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's some great Christian rappers. There's one in particular that my producer always talks about. I can't Lecrae.
Lecrae.
Yeah, he's a very good rapper. He doesn't use it.
Nah, he don't use it. I mean, it's a lot more rappers that don't use it, and you don't even realize it until you actually it comes out like he don't even cuss when he rap, and he's like, wait a minute, I thought he well yeah, I guess you're right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I have a friend that we were having the same discussion, and she's like, she listened to one of Kendrick Lamar's albums. She's like, I really didn't want to listen to it because all the stuff in it. And then she listened to it, and she's like, it's so brilliant. I said, but my problem is that I can't listen to all that with all that stuff in it. I can't.
Right.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's dope. Yep, he is.
I could have done it without all that stuff in it. And sometimes if you're from the streets, obviously you've grown up with saying it. It really doesn't bother you because that's all you know.
Yeah.
But if people took the time to research the whole the word and the history and the fact that people were being hung or castrated or the women were raped at the time and being called that.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be reminded. People need
very demeaning. Very demeaning.
Very demeaning.
So tell us, we're getting ready to wrap things up, but I want the listeners to be able to contact you, be able to follow up on new projects. Tell us, a little bit about where they can find you at and what's the future to hold for Natalie Jean.
Well, okay. You can find me on Twitter, which is NatNat7. Instagram is Natalie J0819. I think there's Natalie Jean Music 1123. Also, there's Sisters in Music 1 on Instagram. Sisters in Music is on Facebook. We're on TikTok as well, Sister Music 1. I'm on LinkedIn. You have my website is www.natalie-jean.com. Sisters in Music is www.sistersinmusic.org. Or you can just Google me.
Natalie Jean.
Natalie Jean. And you can find me. I'm getting a t-shirt. Google me.
Yep. That's nice. I like that.
It's easier than having to spew all those different things that you have to try to remember. That's the other thing. What am I on again? Yeah, and I'm on all the streaming platforms. So what's coming up for me? I'm working on several different projects. I have a lot of collaborations that I'm working on, and I'm working on a new album. I'm starting to write the songs for that, and that goes. But yeah, working on a bunch of stuff.
A lot of good stuff coming up.
Yep.
You doing any TV or anything like that?
No, but a friend of mine was like, well, the other thing is that, I quit my job. Do music full time with no money. Well, one of the reasons I left, I did get COVID last December, and it was horrific. I didn't have to go to the hospital, but I had all of the symptoms except for a sore throat, and I have lingering effects and all kinds of different things that have occurred to me because of it. So, and I have one of the biggest things is brain fog.
I've heard that.
You can't speak, and I have it all the time. I'm not a ditz, but it's just you'll stand there. It's almost like when you go into a room, you can't remember why you get in there.
Yeah,
it's like sneezes and you just can't talk. So, so my job was talking about coming back to work. I was like, oh my God! I even went to see a therapist. I was like, I don't know if I can go back into that job. And so I opted to leave because it was best for my health because. My hair started falling out because of the COVID and some other issues and stuff like that. So I'm doing music full time, and then I'm going to try to do a little side hustle, as they say, as the young say, doing some of the stuff at my job. So yeah, that's what's
going on with Natalie Jean. All right, well, Listeners, we've talked good. I mean, this is some good knowledge that she has brought to the table. I really appreciate this conversation and interview with you. I admire. I couldn't even get that out. Admire your music and your knowledge. Didn't realize how intelligent you really were, but hey, it all goes hand in hand. I appreciate the interview and I wish you the best of luck. We will most definitely be in touch as far as networking. And if it was any last thing that you could give as far as words of wisdom or advice to the listeners, what would it be?
Be stay true to you. Stay true to who you are as an artist. Don't ever let anyone change you. If you have something you need to say, sing, do it. Speak your truth.
Amen. That's real talk right there. So until next time, thanks again, Natalie Jean, for
Yep.
giving us this wonderful, knowledgeable conversation. And until next time, we will be out. Check us out Sunday night. Holla. Thank you, Natalie Jean.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later, Gator.